Hey guys, welcome back. Oh, Bill, sorry. January 22nd. It's a Thursday. We're going to review 0-day options. Today I took on SPY in the small account challenge. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, check it out. It was pretty awesome. Today we had a bit of the opposite of yesterday. There were some good moves here, but pretty grindy. Yeah, pretty grindy for sure. On the 30-minute, let's see, I think we gapped up. Yeah, gapped up. Here's Eric's chart. This is SPY day trading on YouTube. Link for his Discord's in the description. Yeah, he's got 5-day for the gold here, 20 days the red up here. We gapped up this morning. Still kind of in this buying continuation from yesterday's end-of-day move that brought us to 20-day. They're marked by these green channels. We also have some resistances up here. Major green one up here, which we kind of, I guess, didn't really hit today. Yeah, I just kind of stayed in this buying until towards the end of day there. Not a whole lot on the 30-minute for me to be like, oh, that was the move I took on the 30-minute. This one I was kind of waiting for, but I kind of got busy later in the day. Set alerts and went away, but I'll get into that. Kind of got a little lost here, as you can tell. I started trying to figure out what was. I actually haven't looked at Eric's 1 minute. We'll look at that together. That's fun to compare and see. This morning I had magenta here. That was the first, not magenta, purple. That's the first one I usually color in my crayons, and yeah, put that one in there. This little move here, if it retraced, I was gonna grab it. It didn't retrace. Is it such a tight little range that I wasn't gonna take on that break. And then white, I actually had it charted differently. I moved it. This is much more accurate for the selling. Nice little selling in the morning. Unfortunately, I did miss it, but I'm not too bummed about it. I mean, it's early candles, not a huge deal. Sometimes that's the only trade you can take in a day, though. So trying to get better to catch those. Oftentimes, these trades, though, you have to be very quick, like 1 or 2 minutes you're holding, and that's it. Doesn't usually or always give extended moves like this. 689 and 63, 87. So 2 points. Yeah, 2-point move there. Pretty big. And then came down, it had 20-day, and then it hit 5. Did build liquidity here again with purple, which is kind of what I was looking for. Broke it, but by that point I had gold charted, thankfully. I had that charted from right here, maybe? Yeah. From this support and that support. Wasn't too confident with it, but then once it started bouncing on this, I was like, yeah. So that is why I don't think I shorted this. Maybe I did. We'll check. But I knew it was a tight range here at that point. First trade is at 10:34. I got a call and I got another one at 10:37. Yeah, so I did avoid this, thankfully. Also between the moving averages, just you gotta be careful. So it did start to grind. Between the 20 and the 5. Let's see, came up, broke gold, but not this higher gold, not the R1. Yeah, I did. I waited, so that's good. Happy about that. Bounced off 5-day. Didn't really make a nice structure up here, but it did break the gold. But that's why this move wasn't great. It just did some ugliness. So got a call right here on this break. Oh, that's right. So right here, I actually I wanted to, I didn't, just given how the tight range and the chop, but this is one of those zombie trades or retracement trades to me. I saw that purple was building support here pretty clearly. It came up, hit the top of it. I could have gotten puts there, but yeah, the real trade I was really considering is when it came down here and started to show support there, because clear stop going in your favor, it's just easy to manage. Given, of course, I don't know what's going to do that, but regardless, manage it. If it breaks there, stop, and then retest, get puts, and then take profit to be the top of the purple range here. So this actually would have been a sick trade. This is the whole point right here. I didn't quite pay attention to the range, but this is actually pretty large. So almost got calls there. Didn't decide to wait. Not to trade in this wedge, because this was a wedge, even though this was on the edge of the wedge, which is a good place to trade as opposed to the middle. I decided to wait for the breakout. Broke out here. I got one call. 78 cents, a 690 call, which was my target basically, high of day. 1034 and then 1037 I got another call for 76 cents on this candle, so I was just trying to scale in. This gold kind of being my rough stop. Also trying to figure out with purple. I didn't want to hold it if it was buying purple. So after I started doing this, I'm like, this was hard to hold through for sure. And I'm not looking at the contracts when I'm holding this, and I'm sure those decayed awfully. But then it started to rally up. I'm like, okay. But then it starts to just lag out. I'm looking for this one to activate this red one. And it doesn't. It just kind of grinds. I'm like, all right, I should really reduce risk. Let me see if I did it at that time or later. I don't think I did it right. I did. Okay, 1046. I actually sold one here because of top of the purple chart here. It was just buying this ugly purple, which is awful. This gold I put in later. Don't mind that. So sold one there, reduce risk. And then I put in another purple maybe here to manage my risk instead of waiting for like this one way down here. Yeah, just thought maybe it's going to buy up in a tighter channel. Anyways, I think I sold, yeah. So this wick right here is I sold my next one on. And that was a red trade. The first exit was green. So 76 and 78 were my entries, 81 and 70 were my exits. So I think it was like break even overall, which I'm totally content with. Happy that I reduced my risk here once I realized I was buying in such a crappy channel. Could have done the same thing, but really just didn't want to be a part of this grind and stepped away, thankfully, because I was like, I'm just going to set alert. I think I say this, but no, well, I don't know if I did. But it broke white. Broke white perfectly. White I had charted from, well, I think I just started charting it right here. I was trying to find it. Oh, maybe it was later. I don't even know if I had it charted then. Yeah, so next trade, let's just look at that. 1101 to 1102. That was a call, 69 cents, 1101. That was this break, I think. Oh, it was a bounce. I was late on the bounce. Yep. So bounce on this purple. I did try and take it. We also had 20-day here. I don't think I had white there, but I did have this purple still. So a nice big candle. I got it like right here. Pretty early on that candle. This was middle of the wedge of sorts, which isn't great, but I missed this entry. This range is just, this is kind of a nasty area to try and trade, honestly. So I stopped out on this candle for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it had something else drawn in there too. Maybe gold. I think maybe I had gold there. Yeah, I had gold right there. So it broke it and closed above it. And then I got this one on the retrace. And then this one just broke back in. I'm assuming that's why I just jumped out of that one. Oh, that's that one. Sorry about that. 1110. A little red trades in here actually. 1110 to 1111. 80 cents to 72. Is this there? Yep. So this one breaking white again. Little inverse head and shoulder. Structure still isn't great. And white I wasn't too confident yet because I think I just charted it here. But yeah, got a call there at 1110. What are we doing here? Yeah, hoping for. So this is kind of my theoretical stop, and then this would be my take profit. Just trying to catch a trade in the grind up of this purple, not knowing it's going to come down and test this, thinking it at any moment after it breaks this white, it'll just rip up to high of day, which we didn't get. 1101 to 1102, 69 cents to 62 cents. That 1 minute. Wait, I already did that one. What was the next one? 1110 to 1111, 80 cents to 72 cents. Yeah, right here. Yeah, that one. That was actually kind of annoying. Not to say I missed anything because this price action sucked. But yeah, bought it here. This thing went red, and I was like, I'm out of this. This is dumb. And then flipped and rallied to green. So I guess I should wait for that candle to close. You can see why I was starting to run out of stamina from this just trying to churn through all this muck. This price action was just molasses. So then you lose focus and stamina. So this one, if I wait for the candle to close, potentially I would have had an exit. I don't know if it would have been here or where, but I maybe would have held through this for the bounce, which it bounced nicely. But then this price action just continued to suck. Let me see. Did I get that bounce? Close that one. Small loss. Oh, yeah, small loss. Let's see. 80 cents, 72. Another little red trade. 11, 12, 11, 13. You can see it's just churning. Why did I get this one? Oh, because it did that. It wicked up and held green. I'm like, okay, I'll get back in it. That's why I got that one. Because this candle closed above it. And then I don't even know. Closed on the next candle for a 3-cent loss. Not sure. I think there was maybe some different lines there or something. I don't know why I closed that there. I thought I should just stop for trading. Yeah, because I went red. I guess I went red right there. It did. I don't know. Maybe it felt like it was a chase. I don't really remember that trade. 11.57 to 12. Another little red trade. So bounce there. Then I stepped away, as you can tell. Started to build liquidity on white, which is what I was looking for. I really considered... Oh wait, I got it early? Did that happen? Oh, wow. Why did I get it there? I guess for this purple? Oh yeah, this one I added. So take this one away. This was my final purple line right here from low of day. So I thought this was a bounce on that. I got it on this one. Trying to do the same thing like it did here. And then it did this. And then it flushed down and actually made a better inverse head. What was it? 39 cents to 35 cents. You can tell all these stops are very tight. I closed it on that candle, unfortunately. But as you can tell, so I didn't have gold at that point. So without this gold, I'm just going off purple. And it had broken my last purple. I'm like, there might be a less aggressive buying channel. And I think this gold was accurate. Yeah, you can see this gold was more accurate. Turned into resistance over there. So yeah, then I was like, all right, this sucks. I'm not seeing something. I'm charting something wrong. And that was kind of where that was at. And that's maybe when I got that gold. Yeah, I think it was. So let's see, that was that one. And then 1208, 1209, 1213, all call buys. 1208, 1209, 1213, varying prices. Bought one on this candle. Yep, I saw a nice big, well, this also was a completed cup to me. Nice big inverse head, of course, that bounced off of potentially for this orange. So this one is from here, first take profits at top is orange. And then there's a gap fill up there where that marker is. I did get one here. I started this man, oh my gosh, this one was, my confidence growing though has actually, it's helped so much. And as if you've listened to my videos, I've mentioned that's all I was really trying to work on, is just growing my confidence. And it shows in a trade like this where I'm willing to hold it. Confident in this white and maybe even this gold. So bought it here. I'm thinking potentially purple for a stop, but really white. And I'm hoping it just rallies, but it didn't. Bought one here, 08. Got one here at a limit order, 09 for a better price. That was 55 cents, 50 cents. And then 1213 for 48 cents on this candle. I was like, I gotta stop. And I was like, that was a big enough position. I actually tried to get another one somewhere down here. Yeah, because I held through here, it bounces. I'm like, okay, all right. I was like looking away. I don't know what these contracts went down. They probably were down like 60% by here. I maybe had orange charted in at that point too, because I didn't close it through here. It's definitely scary. If my sizing was any bit too large here, I would have probably not been able to hold this, but maybe I would have. I don't know. That was 3 contracts. 691 strike. So yeah, that's the strike price right up there. Yeah, I just had enough confidence, I guess, and it fully tested it. Later in the day, or like middle of the day when the volume's lighter, the moves almost always just take way more time. So you almost never need to jump into it unless volume goes crazy. Like if this volume was insane, and this kind of like yesterday, and this candle was just, then you have to like jump into it. But when it's just a little bit more volume, like middle of the day, 1209, you can almost always be patient. This felt like 2 hours. but that was only, what, 20 minutes, which is kind of a long time to just sit through it. Anyways, kept scaling in, and then it said I was out of buying power. So I'm like, what in the world? I shouldn't be out of buying power. But regardless, I still had confidence in it, and I'm like, this is even a better price. It's grinded further this way, which gives me a higher take profit because this continues to go up. It's at a lower price, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump on the big account, and I did. So this was the best entry. So if I had the patience, then this would have been my entry more or less. I mean, it took me a little while to get everything sorted here, so maybe a little bit earlier, but 1223, can you see that? Yeah, 1223, I got it for 480. That was 100% right there, just about. And that was a 10-minute trade, so 1223 to 1233. So right here on this candle. I maybe had gold at that point, but regardless, it was still, to me, bouncing on this white. Purple here that I charted in right here. It was just through it, but still kind of all in the same area. So I was like, well, this is going to be the best price. It's either going to stop me right here, or this is a nice entry. And so literally got it on this candle. Closed the one on the big account on this candle. Close enough to the gold that I had charted at that point. It was after a nice big green candle, and it was starting to slow down. So that right there was 100% from here to there, which is pretty awesome. 689.87, 6976. So not even quite a point. 1 point, and it was not quite 100%. But my small account, I still had it. I didn't close it. It's all those little red trades. Remember all those little red trades? Yep. So 55 cents, 50 cents, 48 cents. Those are my buys. First sell, I wanted to reduce risk, was at 12.30 for 53 cents, which is crazy. So on this candle right here, I was like, all right, I want to reduce risk back here or somewhere. I should have. I was like, this is basically this same high. I'm going to cut one. Cut one there, and it was, I don't know, on the average, it was probably about break even. Yeah, because it was 53 cents, which I wasn't looking at the price, but I was like, that's probably not actually much of a profit because this one I got in bad slippage, and then the other two were up here somewhere. So anyways, but yeah, I was just so stoked and confidence building that I held through this and even added into it. And then it played out. So yeah, grateful for that. Sold one there, first one, and then 53 cents. And the next one was 67 cents. So then this was a pretty nice green trade, given my entry down here was much better. And 67 cents was on this candle. And then 65 cents was on this candle, this 34. Had a red candle, started to slow down. My take profit was here and then maybe up here, but I'm not trying to hold for the moon. No need for that, only had 3 contracts. So got rid of all of them right there. Excuse me. Which of course ended up being the best exit I could have done. So all those little green trades and then red trades and then that excuse me, that one green one made me a little bit green on the day. Whoa. Next one, 205, 208 were both buys and calls. 41 cents, 38 cents, 205, 208 calls. Then this range just got crazy. It's right here, yeah. So I started charting other stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? Because it broke, if I had the white here, it broke the white. I wasn't sure if it was in this blue, if this was one, or what. But I wanted to break more than the white. So I waited for it to break all the way up here on the blue. So I got it there. But today just lacked continuation all across the board. So manage those risks. Got one there and then got one at 208. So 41 cents and then 38. Got a nice fill on this red candle. It starts to rally up. And I don't think I didn't have this one yet. This blue one. This, I don't even know if it's legit. I just charted it later, trying to figure out what's going on. 205, 208. Sold the first one green at 45 cents at 214. Right here. Oh, that was so annoying, actually. I was trying to sell it on this candle, and I went to close it, and my broker just lagged. It was like maybe 10, 15 seconds, not even. And this candle just got red and gave me such an ugly fill. Like, oh. I guess I just wanted to reduce risk. I didn't want to It's just the price action had been very lack of continuation-esque. And I mean, I would have been pretty green on that one, but this one's just a little green. And I think I did break even on the next one. Yeah, the next one I did break even. So that trade was just barely green. And then this last trade, that kind of sucks. I know why I did it though. So after that, I'm like, I was in and out of the computer, going outside and stuff and doing other stuff. So I was setting alerts and I didn't quite know where to set alerts here. That's what I was kind of doing all this charting, trying to figure out where would I even take a trade. Seeing hindsight, of course, okay, breaking the gold, but I wasn't too confident in gold. It's something I added just from right here, this support, this resistance, but I guess that probably was it. Then it retested it here. But I wasn't too confident in that. I wanted just something more clean. So it came down here. I don't remember where I had my alert set. Somewhere, I think I had an alert on this white line maybe. I can't remember exactly. But anyways, my alert got set. It came down here. Maybe I was just checking it periodically. Once it came down here into 20-day, I was like, all right, let me look at this because maybe even saw it through here, but there's too small of a retrace. Yeah, I actually watched this happen through here. That's when I drew this blue line. Came down here. I'm like, all right, how can I get in this? What should I be looking out for building liquidity? And then I did resort back to this gold. I'm like, that gold seems, I think that's a pretty good one. And then I put in this white, but I wasn't sure on that. But I put in the gold and the white just in case. So the white would be like this resistance, these resistances here. I didn't really see that repeating anywhere else. Yeah, and it actually broke through it down there. So I don't know about that. But the gold, yeah, it's pretty comfortable with the gold. And actually, if I wasn't doing the wick on there, it probably would have made more sense. That structure. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Didn't really have a retest, but had a nice break. Yeah, so actually I put an alert on the gold and on the white. And I was outside and I forgot my... Earlier on the day, actually, too, I had alerts. And I didn't hear them. I was like, I don't know why I'm not hearing these on my phone. I just actually set it up finally on Thinkorswim to hit my phone. Like, I'll have alerts on Webull, but... Or I'll just turn my computer speakers way up. But I'm like, I'm going to do it on my phone. Just quit messing around. I did on my phone is working, and then I noticed it like didn't trigger a couple times, and then I'm outside and I just see these candles. I'm like, what's going on? I ran inside, and yeah, I was too late. I was like, here. But this trade would have been sick if I caught this one. And I feel like I definitely would have. If I didn't catch it on the gold, I think on the white, I would have taken at least a contract. I'm sure this would have been over 100% from here to... I mean, I could have just waited till a green candle and I probably still would have had 100%. This would have been such an easy trade to just hold and manage. So those are tough to miss. Those are annoying because those are such nice trades. The ones like through here and through all this grind, I don't mind missing these. These ones I was like, so maybe a little FOMO happened. I'm not sure. What was my last trade actually? 10 to 11. Oh yeah, I tried to get into it earlier. Okay, yeah, I forgot that was another thing. So I tried to get into it here, and it didn't. 310. So on this candle, I think I was a little jumpy on it maybe. This little head and shoulders. I wanted to build more liquidity. Just to show you, yeah, it was, I guess it was on that gold or something else. Maybe I had white. That seems pretty anxious. I think it hit my my alert and I just grabbed it and wasn't really looking. I don't know. Maybe it was purple. Not sure what made me go there. Yeah, I bet it was maybe it was purple. I don't know. Something maybe get one there. Maybe I adjusted gold after that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I got one there and stopped out right away. But that late in the day is kind of ugly. It was 31 cents to 23. 310 to 311. The slippage was bad also. I got it here and then I had this big fat green candle right after it. I'm like, whoa, get me out. And then I walked away and then it of course did a nice perfect little head and shoulders here. And broke the gold and did a sick little move. But oh well, I was trying to be mellow today. Just because of how big yesterday was. Yesterday was big and it was, you know, opportunity met with preparation. But that big of a move, of course, was lucky. I didn't know the news was coming. But even before that though, I had good trades and I was up a solid amount, so today, just trying to take it easy. I did end up trading quite a bit, but I was happy about the trades. I was happy I took this one. This built my confidence, and I held it. Given I wish I waited to buy into it, big account made me more happy about it because Yeah. My other trades, yeah, there's just, this is why you want to wait for structure, because a lot of these were just kind of channel breaks and not a whole lot of structure. But it was a grindy, choppy day, and trying to avoid this is definitely a good idea. And then needing to catch the last moves if they're there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. This one, did I catch that one? Yeah, I think so. The retest here was nice. Okay, the reason why I didn't get on this retest, because I looked at it and I thought about it. I'm like, I could get on the retest. My stop, I didn't have a clear stop. It would have been purple here, and I didn't want to bounce here and then just grind down. This was a long ways, given I did it later. Yeah, I guess I did it later. I was more confident because this cup had completed. At least for me it did. I guess it didn't quite. But since it had completed, this made a nice little, like, more pronounced inverse head potentially. Maybe that's why this just looked better than right here. So I didn't want to get on this retest. And maybe this white, I was a little less confident at that point because I was earlier on in the day. I don't know. But those were the reasons. I couldn't manage my risk. I didn't know where my stop was going to be. So I didn't want to take it on that retest. But other than that, I'm happy. Today is a break even, tiny red, $2 down. So I swung, I was down like 25 bucks at one point. And that one good trade that I held through all that chop, I was up, I think, $12. And then kind of stayed around there. And then that last trade brought me negative $2. So not bad at all. Plenty happy about it. The day was quite choppy. Looking back on it, I mean, I don't even know, like, you'd have to do spreads to really take advantage of this. This is such flat price action. The range is large enough. Like I said, this move right here, that was 100%. So you just had to really get good entries and exits. This was probably my favorite move of the day. These in here I need to get better at. I couldn't quite see the algo and what was breaking to be able to catch this. Oh yeah, let's look at Eric's. 1 minute. Let's see what this looks like. You stopped charting. Or I just need to refresh. Here's if we had the same color. So we had magenta early. He always has that one. His magenta I think is my gold, which I didn't get till later. Let's see. Yeah, his magenta is my gold. His blue, I don't have blue. I don't usually do those. Like the mellow, that mellow of selling. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't really have that. That maybe would have helped. I don't know. He had this one in here. I never had that one. He didn't have as much charted actually. He didn't have my purple. Actually, my purple is maybe his magenta. I didn't know which one it was, purple or gold. Maybe it was purple or maybe it was gold. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he was probably busy today. So yeah, not a whole lot of trading from him, but that is how it compares. Thanks for watching. Sub up, like up, comment down. Have money sticks around. See you tomorrow. Don't overtrade. Fridays are usually trap days. Peace out.